Good afternoon to everyone. Myself, I am Surya Narayana, working as an assistant professor in DBS at Kavali. Today, my presentation on industrial engineering subject. In last class, we discussed about what is files administration management, and he wrote 14 principles. We already covered all 14 principles in last class. Today in this class, I'm going to discuss about some motivational theories. In this class, I'm discussing about three types of different motivational theories. Those are, first one is Maslow's theory. Second one is Douglas Regard theory. Third one is Hutchback's theory. First one is Maslow's theory. It is also known as Maslow's need hierarchy. This theory, Maslow's theory, says about, first of all, we want to know about the Maslow's. He is a famous social scientist. He has given a framework that helps to explain the strength of needs. Okay, he work on that and know about and explain the strength of basic needs. According to him, he generated a hierarchy for needs. This complete theory says about the needs for every person, like for every individual or for any person having needs. Needs, any need having certain priority. That means based on that situation, like giving more priority and less priority. Okay. In that case, as the more basic needs are satisfied, the individual seeks to satisfy higher needs. That means the individual person seeks, that means searching or waiting to satisfy the higher needs. That means it having the higher priority. If his basic needs are not met, that means he does not meet the basic needs and put efforts to satisfy the higher needs, should be postponed. That means that the higher needs wants to meet on the next schedule. That completes theory based on the individual or personal needs. Coming to hierarchy, it is following the ascending order from smallest to biggest. Those are classified into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 needs. One is physiological needs, after that security needs, then social needs, esteem needs, self-actualization needs. First of all, I'm going with physiological needs. The physiological needs are at the top of hierarchy. That means in this we are following the ascending order. Ascending order, we are taking the smallest needs, that is, but it is placed at the top of hierarchy because they tend to have the highest strength until they are reasonably satisfied. That means physiological needs, that in this, these needs says about the personal needs. These needs says about the personal needs like strength until they are reasonably satisfied. These needs are satisfied to the degree needed for the efficient operation of the body. The majority of person's activities will probably at this level. The complete physiological needs says about the personal or physiological needs. Those are to be satisfied in this first hierarchy, that is physiological needs. Coming to second one, safety needs. We already know that safety means preservation, self-preservation. Safety means self-preservation. In the industrial society, employee can be motivated through either positive action, like in any industry, employee need the safety needs, like making the pension plans, and taking the insurance plans, etc. Are negative actions like laid off or demotions. Promotion is upgrading level. Promotion is upgrading level from employee to manager, employee to supervisor, etc. Laid off or demotion. Demotion means degrading. Degrading the positions levels like from manager to employee, normal employee. That is the demotion. Okay. In this safety needs like security of the job is also safety needs. The main factors of safety needs are pension plan and insurance plans. Those are very important for any individual who are working in the industrial society. It is about safety needs. First one is the physiological needs. Coming to safety needs, it is starts from once the physiological needs satisfied until to reasonably satisfied. That means once the physiological needs has to be satisfied at a reasonable level, then the safety needs are started. After then, third one is the social needs. After the finishing of two needs like physiological and safety needs, the third in the hierarchy is social needs. After the first two needs are satisfied, the social needs become an important in the need hierarchy. It is all about needs. Need hierarchy developed by the Maslow. Since a man is a social being, man is a human being is connected with all social relations or coordinations, etc. He has a need to belonging and to be accepted by various groups. Okay, he is connected with all social relations. For that, making of social needs, it is a third factor in hierarchy. Coming to next one, fourth one is the esteemed needs. In esteemed needs, we want to discuss about every person having the self-respect and self-confidence and feeling of personal worth. Feeling self-respect and recognition and satisfaction of those needs produce feelings of self-confidence and prestige and power and control. These are the factors worked on esteemed needs. Okay. Coming to every person having surviving in the society, who are surviving and living in the society, having every person or every individual having self-respect, own self-respect and own self-confidence, own feeling of personal worth. You want to do, okay, want to do any work with self-confidence. Okay, it is about esteem needs. Coming to fifth one, self-actualization needs. Self-actualization need. It is the need to maximize one's potential, whatever it may be. It is related with the development of intrinsic capabilities which lead to people to seek situations that can utilize their potential. In that case, this factor says about self-actualization needs. Okay, the company, every person who are waiting, every person who are waiting for their turn to put their efforts on a particular task or on a particular target. Okay, every person who are waiting for their turn. That means in that case, seeking for situations, seeking or waiting or searching for situations. Once their turn comes, then he or she put their efforts, full efforts on that to complete and reaching their goals. That is about self-actualization needs. The conclusion given by the Maslows suggests the various levels of interdependent and overlapping, each higher level need emerging before the lower level need has been completely satisfied. Since one need does not disappear when another emerges, all needs tend to be partially satisfied in each area. He says that every need, starting with physiological and ending with self-actualization needs, those needs are completely not satisfied. So every needs are to be satisfied. For every need in that area, in each area, that has to be satisfied, but a partial factors into a partial factor. Those needs are not to be completely satisfied. In that time, in that case, all needs to be partially satisfied in each area. That is the conclusion given by the Maslow's. It is about Maslow's hierarchical needs. Maslow's need hierarchy. Coming to second one, Hedgebugs theory or hygiene theory. First of all, this theory about job conditions. Based on job conditions, we are dividing the factors into two sets. One is about hygiene, second one is about motivation. First of all, coming to introduction, Frederick Hedgebug is a scientist, conducted an interview among 200 engineers and accounts in 9 different companies in Pittsburgh area, USA. During this interview, they were asked to describe few previous job experiences. That means he conducted an interview among 200 engineers and accountants in Pittsburgh area, USA. During the interview, the persons who are participated in that interview, they were asked the Hedgeberg, he is a scientist, can you explain the previous job experiences which they felt very good and bad about jobs? After then, he gives the answer. In his analysis, he found that some jobs gives the dissatisfied. Okay, some job conditions gives employees dissatisfied, but the conditions are absent. The employees are present in that job conditions. After then, that one is related to hygienist conditions. After then, second set is about motivational theories or motivation conditions. Another set of job conditions operates primarily to build a strong motivation and high job satisfaction. But in this, the rarely absence of employee proves strongly dissatisfying. So based on this analysis, the Hedgeberg divided the job conditions into two factors. One is about hygienic theory or hygienic factors. Second one is about motivational factors. I'm going to explain about what is hygienic factors. What is a hygienic factors and what are the concepts included in hygienic factors. According to Hedgeberg, there are 10 maintenance factors are there. These are, first one is the company policy. Company policy, in this company policy, for taking any company, the company having the rules and regulations. The rules and regulations are provided by the company itself. For that, for any employee who are working under company, you have to follow the rules and regulations given by the top level management, and he should not violate those companies' policies. Based on company policy, the top level management or managers who are recruiting the new employees based on the company policies. In that, the company policies, the company provided the number of principles and rules and regulations for hiring the employees. Second one is the administration process. Administration, who the persons or individuals who are working under company, those persons are employees who are to follow the administrator rules and regulations. Okay. The company is totally managed by the administrator person. He is the superior to the all employees. He makes all administration ideas and decisions on the company. Coming to third one, technical supervision. One super eye, that means one invisible eye working every day on the employees for checking the technical supervision of employees. That means the employees who are working under company, the one super eye or invisible eye checking the employees for supervision. Fourth one is the salary. Salary is very important factor in the hygiene factors. Every person or individual who are working for making the salary. For every month, the employee is waiting for the salary to survive on that. So, giving the good salaries and overtime incentives to the employees, then the employees put their complete effort or all efforts, good efforts on the company and at the work also. The fifth one is the job security. Job security is must be given to the employees who are working in the company. That is given by the top level management or the manager. The company in the company, any employee should not relieve. Any employee should not relieve or tenure from the company without giving a proper notice or proper intimation. So it is the company policy. It is also job security factor. Fourth one, next sixth one is the personal life. Okay, company give week offs to the employees to spend their personal life with their wives and etc. According to this, the company should provide some leaves and extra time to spend their personal life. It is about personal life, status and working conditions, making interpersonal relationship with superiors, interpersonal relationship with subordinates. These are the another factors in hygiene factors. Hedgebuck says, in order to follow and satisfy these all factors in hygiene factors, then the company is good. Next one is the second set of factor based on the job condition is the motivational factor. These factors are capable of having a positive effect on job satisfaction, often resulting in an increase in one's total output. It includes 6 factors that motivate employees. These are achievement, recognition, advancement, work itself, possibility of growth, and responsibility. Achievement. Okay. In motivational factors, achievement. Achievement is attained or obtained by making good motivation to the employees by the manager or top level management. By giving the training or motivation to the employee, then achievements are obtained by following their precautions and rules. Recognition is recognition. A good recognition is comes from the working conditions. Okay, based on every employee, recognition is obtained based on his or her experience or job conditions, advancement, work itself, possibility of growth, and responsibility. These are the 6 factors has to be satisfied in the motivational factors. This is the second set of factor in the Hedgebugs theory, motivation theory. Coming to third one is the theory about Douglas MacGregor theory. He divides leadership. Okay, in this Douglas MacGregor theory, we have to discuss about leadership or leader styles. Who is a leader and leadership styles. Leadership styles are divided into are labeled into two types. One is theory X and theory Y. Okay, we have to discuss about those theories like theory X and theory Y. The traditional styles of leadership and controls stated in theory X and MacGregor is exercised to managers on the basis of his assumptions about human beings. In theory X, he says that an average human being does not like to work and he tries to avoid it as far possible. He avoids accepting responsible and challenging tasks, has no ambition, but wants to security above all. Because of this, the employees are to be forced, concerned, and threatened with punishments to make them put their best efforts. In theory X, he says that an employee does not like to work, but because of the employees are to be forced, concerned, or threatened with the punishments to make their best efforts. Okay. In this theory X, an employee or person or individual does not like to work. He tries, he avoids all accepting responsibilities and challenging tasks on that person. He has also no ambition, want to secure above all. He has no ambition, no challenging task, and he has not accepting the responsibilities also. But because of the forces by the top level managements or by the superiors or subordinates, he put their best efforts on the company. Theory X. Theory Y about in this he has interest. Some employees consider the work is mine as natural as play or rest. These employees are capable of directing and controlling the performance on their own. They are much committed to the objectives of the organization, giving good rewards to the employees. Then he put their more efforts. He put more efforts on the organization, given to the organization. What is the students? Please observe the difference between theory X to theory Y in MacGregor's theory, Douglas MacGregor's theory. He divided the theories into two parts. One is X and one is Y. Coming to X, the employee does not have interest to work on that organization because of the forces by the top level management. He concentrated and he threatened and he given into the and he work on to the organization by the forces only. Coming to theory of Y, it says about some employees, not all employees, some employees consider the work is mine and I want to complete this target or task at a given period of time, and they are very much committed to the objectives of the organization. That means those employees who are making the work as mine and feeling like the work is natural and it is not difficulty as a play or rest and following all the objectives, those are provided by the organization, and making good rewards to the employees makes the employees like putting their all efforts on the organization. That is about theory X and theory Y. Next one, leadership and leadership styles. This is also subtopic in Douglas MacGregor theory. Leader, we already know that the person who are leading or influencing all the persons, he is called as a leader. Okay, one person who leads to a given group or who leading or influencing the people. He is a leader. Leadership. Leadership is the ability to influence the people to achieve the given goals in a organization. Leader is a factor related to the person. Leadership is a concept. Okay, leader is related to human being. Leadership is related to a concept. A true leader is one who shares success with the followers and observes all failures. That means a leader sharing all the things like with the followers like failures and successes. Sharing two shades like in success conditions or in failure conditions also. A manager has to be a mini leader and leader has a mega leader. Leader is a mega leader. Manager has to be a mini leader. Manager inspires his subordinates and get work done. Leader does not understand the ground realities of functioning. That is about leader and leadership. Next, coming to leadership styles, we have three types of leaderships are there. One is autocratic leadership, second one is the democratic, third one is the free reign leadership. First one, I'm discussing about autocratic. In autocratic leadership, the leader commands all followers and expects obedience from them for all the instructions given. Leaders are positive. In this autocratic leadership, all the commands and instructions given by the leader only, they do not follow. Okay, they do not follow or they do not allow any participation or any followers. They does not like any initiatives taken by the employees or followers also. They lead by his ability to withhold or give rewards or punishments to the employees. Okay. In this, the leader only the person makes all commands and instructions. Okay. He doesn't listen any person's suggestions and commands and instructions also. They direct others. In this, they direct others. They do not allow any participation in autocratic leadership. Coming to second one, democratic leadership. In this also, leader gives the commands and instructions to the followers. But making decisions, the leaders consult the subordinates and involve them in decision making. Okay. What is the difference between autocratic to democratic leadership? In autocratic leadership, he does not involve any subordinates or followers in making decisions. But in democratic leadership, leaders consult subordinates and involve them in decision making. They encourage discussion with the group leaders, believes in two-way communication. In this, they listen to followers and try to facilitate in the decision making. Okay. In this, they listen followers and facilitate in the decision making. In autocratic leadership, they do not follow others and they only give the commands and instructions and does not encourage give the any participation also. Coming to third one, free reign leadership. Free reign leaders exercises little authority and give maximum freedom to subordinates while making decisions. It is like in autocratic, there is no freedom. Only leader is the superior. In democratic leadership, in this also leader is a superior, but he follows the commands, all suggestions given by the subordinates and listen the followers and facilitate in the decision making. In this free reign leadership, leader is a person, he is a human being. He follows all the subordinates and followers' decisions and listening all the followers try to facilitate in the decision making. It is a bottom-up approach. Suggestions from the followers are encouraged and rewarded. They give high degree of independence subordinates in their operation. This is about free reign leadership. With this topic, the second unit with this topic, the first unit concept of management and modern theories and motivational theories and Fowler's principles, Taylor's scientific management. Those are completed in previous classes. Next class, we will discuss about a new chapter. Thank you, students. Thank you all. If you like this video, please subscribe to DBS Talks YouTube channel. Okay, thank you once again.